Hello. Right, today I've got something in a box down there that I haven't even opened. Still wrapped up as it was delivered to me. But before I open that, and I did do a little bit of checking, luckily enough, because I thought I was going to be able to power this from my bench power supply, but this thing takes a few different batteries. It's an MB Game Simon, which if nobody knows what an MB Game Simon is, you'll find out when I take it out of the box. It is from the 1980s, so quite old now, like me, I suppose. But first thing I'm going to do is I had to rush out and get some batteries. So these are my batteries. We can be a bit closer than that for now. I'm zoomed out quite a long way because it's quite a big box. But I'm going to check these batteries are any good, because not to make anybody feel ill, I nipped out with a dog, nipped up my local corner shop to buy these batteries, and I thought while I was in there I'll buy a sandwich. And when I got home with the sandwich was 4 days out of date. So 1.6 volts on there, so that looks like it's a good battery. Let's stand it up. Nope, can't see it there. There. Yeah, you can see that there. 1.6. What we got? 1.6. So this Simon uses 2 D cells and a 9 volt, which I wouldn't have guessed in a million years. So I'm glad I checked before I started this stream. Yeah, 9.6 volts. So we've got good batteries, so we can put that aside. DMM, digital multimeter, meaning it does all sorts of things. Not a DVM, digital voltmeter, which only does voltages. Right, let's chuck that over there. Batteries over there. Zoom us out a bit. We've got a big box. Let's open this up and see what we've got. So I bought this off of eBay. I think I paid about £20 for it, if I remember rightly. Didn't pay an awful lot for it. Decently packaged so far. Check that over there. And there we have a picture of an MB Game Simon. I gotta admit, this doesn't feel very heavy. So hopefully I haven't just bought a box. As if I have, it's going to be a very short video, isn't it? Nope, that looks like a Simon. Need to stick my Mac to the bench, I think. Afternoon, an oblong lie. Right, I was totally engrossed in opening a box here, and I'm also playing with a tablet here, which I fixed on my last stream, which unfortunately didn't save because lovely Twitch has changed the default save settings, and you have to enable VOB. So where do I see chat again? I don't know. I'm trying to find chat down here. We'll worry about that in a minute, I think. Followers, channel, Chat. There we go. There's chat. Not that anything's come up in there. Say something, Oblong Life. I want to see it come up in the chat on this screen down here. Then I know I can see everything. Right. What we got going on here? Rightly. David Potter. Belong to David Potter. How do I know? It says so. Look, right there. David Potter. Can we see that? Yeah. So, what have we got for a untested Simon? Battery clips look broken to start with. How did they come off? Battery cover. 2x SP2. Battery cover. David Potter. It's even got his address on here. I'm not going to make a point of showing that too much, but he lived in Liverpool. 1978 NB Games. Right, rattly buttons. I don't know how that comes off. Can't work out if that's broken or not. So, what do we think? Do we just chuck batteries in here and see if it works? I'm curious. There's definitely bits of rattly plastic in there. A little bit. How many screws have we got in here? Tempted to just put batteries in it and see what it does. Start off, game 1, skill. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to put the cover on because it does actually snap into place. And what way around did these cells go? Excuse me, I need a drink. Other brands are available. Right. Ding. Nothing. It does not work. Oh well, that's what it said. Let's pop the batteries out. Let's say that doesn't touch. Does now. Now I'm not sure why it's the reason why it's not working, but definitely that connector. It's always the thing with these 9-volt batteries and these connectors. Just squeeze that up. It's now clipping on. See if it's made any difference. Nope. Well, I've got to admit, I don't know what a Simon does when you switch it on. Well, blow me down. This is the world's most boring fix video, isn't it? Definitely level 1. Right, that's enough of that. It works. Which was just... How close can I go on this camera? Can't go any closer than that on this one. This little battery connector here needed a bit of a squidge because it wasn't making contact on that terminal. So that's all that was. But now I've got it on my desk, I think it's time to take it apart and have a look. Where's my little flashlight? What screws has this got? No. No, there's no screws in there. Oh, 1, 2. Should be one there. 3. What screwdrivers have we got? Oh, I've only got baby screw. Oh, no, I've got a big one over here. Grab some bigger screwdrivers. Take Simon apart and have a look. Just because I'm fascinated by what's inside it anyway. But Simon works. I'm curious to know what the rattly bits of plastic inside are. Now, got to be careful in taking this apart. That nothing connected anywhere, and all the buttons don't fall out like they just did. Those buttons didn't fall out though, so that's okay. So we can play jigsaw buttons in a minute. So if anybody ever opens a Simon, open it up with the buttons down. Let's pop the buttons over down a minute. What we got in here? There's even a spare bulb in there. Right, fixing screw. That's it. So there's a bit of plastic fixing broken off. Which might bond back on, but that might explain why we've got a screw missing. Shall we, this is actually really clean. What have we got inside? One chip. What's that chip? Taiwanese, some sort of logic chip, I think. I'm not going to bother looking it up. I don't need to. Everything works. It's pretty crudely built, to be honest. But it does the job. Little speaker inside. Now, how does that come off? Let's take the bulbs out. Because I want to get that bit of cardboard off. 2 screws there as well. Bulbs. Good old fashioned incandescent light bulbs. I wonder if they do LED replacement equivalents. Let's just say this was designed in 1978. I have no idea when this was made. 1978 by Milton Bradley Co. under Barn and Universal Copyright Convention. Sounds very American, doesn't it? Take that off. That's it. All we've got inside is a speaker underneath that board. And what looks like to be a spare bulb that's never been taken out of there, looking at that sellotape. So I'm going to leave that in there because I'm pretty sure all these bulbs work. So sometimes when you buy things from eBay that say they are untested, they genuinely are untested. I don't think anybody's been in this before. Maybe once. Maybe that's how the screw got broken. I'll have a look inside the top in a minute. Those buttons can get sticky, but they literally are. They're just metal, pieces of metal that bend, and the buttons press on them. They're not even switches. Well, they are, but they're not micro switches, is what I mean. Now, I don't know what's going on with that screen, because I can't see anything from a chat point of view. Just chatting live. Why can't I see the chat? Can I send a chat? Hello. Oh yeah, that goes up there. Hello. Can't see anybody replying to me on that screen. Need to work out how this Twitch app works. Let's put the batteries back. Put the bulbs back in. No, I'm seeing chat up there. I'm not seeing chat down there, so I don't know what that is all about. Put these bulbs back in, and am I loud enough for Long Life, or am I mumbling to myself? No, we know all those lights work because all the buttons lit up when I was playing with it outside. So don't need to check that. And you can actually check bulbs, which I shall prove here with your meter set in continuity. Let's take another one out because they are just pieces of wire bulbs that get hot. So they should have continuity if they work. I mean, you can look and see if you can see the bit of wire, but that's a very small piece of wire inside there. And depending on how good your eyesight is. And you know what? I've had bulbs that look like they're fine, but they don't work when you buzz them out because it can be a microscopic little break. But anyway, you know those bulbs work. In fact, I didn't even need to take them out, did I? What have we got? We've got one side there, one side there. Just measure them inside. Need to do it up a bit more. All working. Right, let's take a look at that other bit, on the other piece, the top. See where that piece of plastic's broken out of. It really is very, very clean. Okay, so that button has lost a piece of plastic there, which quite honestly, super glue's not going to hold. It's just not big enough. Could use a bit of epoxy on that. Where's the other bit from? Is it on this side? Yeah, it's on that side. Look, this piece is broken off there. Which, to be honest, a piece of glue probably will hold. I'm going to put those bits of plastic aside. Do I have some glue? Glue. No super glue up here. I think I might mix some epoxy up to stick those, because super glue isn't the greatest for sticking plastic. I didn't give you a lot there, so let's see if we can put this jigsaw puzzle back together, shall we? Lost a bit. We did. That's a piece of metal, that plate. It needs a little bit more double-sided tape on it to hold it on. Let's give that a clean, I think. Isopropyl alcohol. Just degreasing that really. It's still sticky. Not sure that will clean very well. Oh, we've got two of those. Is another one just fallen off? Oh, we've got two missing there, look. Might be a job for a 3D printer though. It doesn't seem to make much difference to the switches. Might have to design something on the 3D printer to replace them with. Yeah, it would make more sense than trying to repair those. Seeing if I've got any double-sided tape knocking around. Don't think I have. Stick that back on. Quite horrible really, those buttons. Right, just finding some tape. Double-sided tape. I think that'll do the job. Pop that over there. Don't clean that very well, do it? I don't want to go too mad on this because I think they feel like they're silk screen printed. So I don't want to rub any text off. That'll be a disaster. Oh, you can't beat the huh method. I don't want to go too mad on that because I don't want to rub the lettering off. I think that'll do for now. The kids to slam down. Was Simon a kid's toy? I suppose it was. I seem to remember in the advert lots of adults playing it though. Gets hard quick. Don't need to go too mad with this stuff. Pop it on there. A little bit there. Oh, it's got a whole bunch. Bit there. Bit there. About the hair on it. What does it say on the box age-wise? They're always 3 and up, aren't they? Oh, on the box it says 7 to adult, 1 or more players. So I've got the instructions in there. Care and maintenance of the Simon. And the instructions. We'll have a look at those in a minute. Let's get this put back on. I'll pop another bit in the middle here. I think that will be adequate. Now, the trickiest part of double-sided straight tape is getting the backing off. One. Two. So, why did the Simon have 2 different types of batteries in it? Well, when I was looking at it, the logic circuit, i.e. the bit on the top with the chips in, used a 9-volt battery, and the bulbs and switches are using the D cells, these great big 1.5-volt batteries, which I don't think I've ever seen anything use 2 different types of batteries before. Hold that in place. Have another slurp. Don't want to lose that, do we? Right, we're going to the box. Buttons. Actually, I think it would make sense. Would it make sense? What have we got here? We've got... It's a little bit of a catch-22 here with these buttons, I think. Because looking over my shoulder at the box. That one goes on there. Button's gone afterwards. What we got? Screws lined up. Let's put it back together. It would be doubly annoying if no batteries included on Christmas Day. You've been a really good parent. You've gone out, you've got your D cells ready for your Christmas presents. And you've got the 9-volt battery. You'd be looking around for something to steal a battery out of so that the kids don't drive you mental on Christmas Day. Now I suppose everything is USB powered. All you do is look around and steal a smoke detector. What can we find that's got a 9-volt battery in it? So we all risk burning to death over Christmas so that the kids can play with the Simon. I'm going to pop the batteries back in before I flip this over. If we can see on here, this shows which way round the batteries go. Button on top to the left. What is it that you buy nowadays that you have to put batteries in like this? Everything's rechargeable, isn't it? Lithium-ion cells and the like. So the only out then is the right, what way round do these switches go? Oh, don't sit very tight. That one sits nice and tight, but that one doesn't. Quite loose. Right. Let's embarrass myself on Simon level 1, shall we? See if it still works. Does it not make any noise when you switch it on? Obviously not. That's it. I'm done. Does that mean I got wrong? I got it wrong. That's only on bloody blooming blinking level 1. Okay, so Simon Works. It's got some bits of plastic that need working out. I might glue a bit of that bit on, and I might 3D print the bits to fix inside, but to be honest, it works perfectly fine without those. The buttons, these fall off. Don't like the fact these fall off. What can we do to tighten them up? See, I think looking inside there, there was a piece of plastic that kept them tight. Oh, it's moaning at me. Lost. I never had a Simon to say whether it actually played a tune when you switched it on. I'm quite surprised that it doesn't do anything when you switch it on. But yeah, just away you go. No, I've forgotten. Oh! Oh! It makes farty noises. What's longest? Oh, okay. How hard is it on level 4 then? Oh! I'm rubbish. What's... Level 1, game 2. Ah, is this 2 people? What? Right, let's get the instructions out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of double-sided tape on these switches so they don't fall off. A tiny little bit. So I'm doing this on the side of my desk here because I don't want to cut up my silicone mat. If I pop that on there like that. And pop that there like that. It doesn't want to fall off. Another little bit. Actually, let's get it off. Oh, stuck to my finger. Just enough to stop those falling off. Don't want to lose them. Instruction book. Was it's here in the instruction book? Different games were there to play in on Simon. Contents, number of players, one or more players. Contents, Simon computer game. Instructions, one spare light bulb supplied inside Simon housing. Note, batteries are not included. Who made the film Batteries Not Included? I seem to remember that was a Steven Spielberg movie, but I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong about that. Object. To repeat correctly a longer and longer sequence of signals in 3 different games. Before play begin, you must insert 1 9-volt battery and 2 1.5 R20 batteries in the compartments. Now, is R20 what the American market call these batteries? Because I've always known these as D cells. I've got D written on it, but still. I'm curious by the R20. Remove the battery cover by inserting a coin or other small flat object into the slots and gently pressing downward to lift the covers. So I did that right accidentally without reading the instructions. Insert the 2 1-volt batteries straight in the Simon's plastic case, then attachment in the compartment. Yep, we did that. Note, if the connection is not a tight snap or fit, lightly pinch the spring slotted terminal on the battery clip with a pair of pliers. Finally replace both covers, pressing them into place. So the problem with this was that the 9-volt battery wasn't fitting properly, and the instructions actually tell you how to fix it. Oh, I quite like the irony of that. Important for playing Electronic Simon. Read the enclosed instructions carefully. Electronic Simon has been thoroughly tested before dispatch. However, minor adjustments may be necessary due to rough handling and vibrations. Should you have any problems, check the following. If the lights or sounds do not work, check the batteries, 9-volt battery clip, the 9-volt battery clip. See, look, 9-volt battery clip firmly attached. Right there was the problem. If a lens fails to light, check loose or burned bulbs. Replace bulbs. See inside Simon. See to replace a bulb at the end of the instructions. If lights flash erratically or sound becomes garbled, 9-volt battery needs replacing. Okay, so the 9-volt battery is powering all that, and if light dims or sound level drops, 1-volt batteries. So sound and lights comes from the 1.5-volt batteries, and the logic is being done by the 9-volt battery. So what games did we have then? Because I only remember Simon being follow the sequence. General description of a Simon. Yeah. Longest button. When pressed at the end of a game, will play back the longest sequence played from the time power was turned on from all previous games. Last button. When depressed at the end of the game, will play back the last sequence in the game just played. Coloured lenses. When Simon activates them or when players depress them, the light up and give 4 distinct tones. Note, for best results, press the lenses at the centre and do not push or jab at them. Jab at them? Game 1. Slide the player switch on. Slide the blue game selector switch to 1. Slide the blue skill level switch to 1, 2, 3 or 4. Press the red start button. Simon will give the first signal. Repeat the signal by pressing the same lens. Simon will duplicate the first signal and will add one. Repeat these 2 signals by pressing the same lenses in the correct sequence. Simon will duplicate the first 2 and add one. Now repeat these 3 and on. Notice that after the 5th, 9th and 13th signal in a sequence, Simon automatically increases the tempo. If you fail to repeat a sequence exactly, or if you take more than 5 seconds between successive presses of the lenses during a sequence, Simon responds with a raz sound. You have lost and this sequence of signals is over. If you fail to complete a sequence, press the last button and count the number of signals as it played back the last sequence. This is your score. Begin a new sequence by following steps 4 to 10 above. Note, if Simon is turned off, the longest score is erased. To win, if you successfully repeat the number of signals set on the skill level switch at the beginning of the game, you have won. Simon will acknowledge your win by 6 short signals from the last lens played in the sequence. Should you manage to repeat 31 signals, skill level 4, Simon will acknowledge your success by a buzz from the first lens played in that sequence. For 2 or more players, players may team up against Simon or compete with each other. Decide who goes first. Play proceeds as described above, except players take turns repeating Simon's sequence of signals. Each player in turn will have a longer and longer sequence to complete. Game 2. Player adds. Objects of the game: to create a longer and longer sequence of signals for 2 or more players. Slide the red on-off switch to on. Slide the blue game selector switch to 2. Slide the blue skill level switch to 4. Oh. Press the red start button. Simon will give you the first signal. The first player repeats the signal and adds 1 more. The second player repeats the first 2 signals and adds 1 more. Play continues clockwise, with the next player repeating the first 3 signals in their correct sequence and adding 1 more. Players continue repeating the signals and increasing the sequence by 1 for as long as possible. Any player who makes an error takes 1 error. Remember, Simon will automatically increase the tempo at certain levels. The last remaining player who successfully repeated Simon's sequence increased it by 1 is declared the winner. For 1 player, follow steps 1 4 as well. When you make an error, you hear a raz. To repeat correctly your colour in a longer and longer sequence. Oh, I see. So you just have a colour. Just then to repeat the colour. Slide the red on-off switch to on. Slide the game selector switch to 3. Slide the blue skill level switch to 4. Each player chooses 1 colour lens and then uses only that lens during the game. Each player must push his lens in turn with the other player. Right, there's only me. There's no point working it out. That doesn't look like the bag that originally came in. Right. I think we'll have 1 more game of Simon, and then I've got a little board to repair. On. Level 1, player 1. Yes! That's it. I won on level 1. I'm not going to test my strength any more than that. But that works. Right, off. Simon can go back in its box. Actually, Simon can have his batteries taken out first, because I'm not leaving them in there. I don't know. Is it feeble sounding? Or if I sound all right now, then I don't think it's the mic. It isn't the loudest in the world. It has a tiny little speaker here pointing at the desk. So it sounds loud enough sitting here playing it, but the microphone's up there, so it's quite a long way from it. And this microphone is designed to pick up close rather than from a long way away. So it probably is the microphone not picking it up too well. Let's pop this back in. Don't want to lose anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put those bits of plastic in the bag here, and I might go back to the Simon and see if I can design some 3D printed parts to a player inside there, but I'll be honest, it works fine with the broken bits. I think we are at the point though where some of those broken bits, if it breaks anymore, the buttons won't work properly, but seems fine at the moment. Right, let's pop back up to me for a minute. So let's just moving some tape and stuff out of the way, tidying up my desk. I've got a little tiny circuit board to repair. Part of a project that myself and somebody else is putting together. I think all I'm going to do is clean the board up today, because on Monday I'm going to start building this project. The project is an All-Star Node, which is an amateur radio project. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that I'm wearing my amateur radio t-shirt, but it basically says amateur radio is a hobby where people talk about their hobby using their hobby, which is pretty much correct. That's if you actually get a conversation on amateur radio, because 9 times out of 10 it's over and done within 10 seconds if you're lucky. Right, what shall need to change my lens, so while you're not looking at that camera we will pop that lens off and we will pop the close-up lens on. Switch back to a desk. Pull the little circuit board over. Yeah, tiny little circuit board. Right, we're going to need some soldering iron action. Save the bottle because the dog loves the bottles. He was very disappointed when I came upstairs not giving him the bottle. Alright, how close can we get to this? I'm going to put that on manual focus, because the focus does jump about a bit when the soldering lines are going in and out, so we manually focus that. There we go. So, circuit board. So, where's my little pointer thing? Here's my little pointer thing. I'm not actually going to go into modding this board today, because I'm going to start modding these boards, and I'll go in a little bit into more on what these are. But this is a USB sound card that you can plug into a Raspberry Pi, and you can hook different wires in and out. And someone started modding this, and there's a little bit too much solder here, which needs a little wire connected to it. And there's this one I'm going to take off because I'm going to put it with a smaller bit of wire. And then there's a few more links to put on, so I'm just going to tidy this board up to start with, see if we can get that off. Gonna have to try and do this by eye, I think. So let's get what I need. Right, I'm going to use me temperature controlled soldering iron, which is 300C, which by the time I've got a bit of leaded solder on it, should be fine. And I need some desolder braid, which is hiding in this box over here. My solder braid of choice is Gootwick. If we can see Gootwick. Why Gootwick? Because it's just good you buy cheap braid and it doesn't work, and then you end up wrecking whatever you're trying to fix because you've used too much heat to get it off. And we're going to put a little bit of flux on here. Because what I want to try and do is to lift. Just moving the batteries out of the way because they're in front of my soldering iron. What do I need? What do I need? I'm going to put a bit of water on my sponge. Just a little spray bottle with some water in it. Come back out again. Just a little spray bottle with some water in it. Here we go, manual. So I will go through some of my tools that I use for this stuff. A lot of it is not the high-end expensive stuff, but good stuff I found from China. We'll take those glasses off. And if by magic a horrible mess of solder was gone, I'll double check this underneath a microscope in a minute. I know the person who did this board is now shouting at me going, "No! Don't take them off. They took me ages to get on there." I know, but I'm going to use some different wire. Because these pins are really, really close together. Resistor over there looks fine. Right, what I'm going to do is just have a look at that more closely under the microscope. I do have a microscope, but unfortunately it's not a microscope that everybody can share with. I see. Yeah. Let's going to just examine that underneath my microscope just to make sure that that is good. There's no shorted pins on there. Now this is a stereoscope. A stereoscope being two eyepieces. Now I know I've seen a lot of people do repairs and they're using these. There's a bit of solder down there. That's, sorry about my squeaky lights. Yeah, and that pin's damaged. Let's take you up to the other camera and I'll show you. Stereoscope out of the way. Manual focus is annoying. Come on. Focus, baby, focus. So all the solder that was down here is now gone. But there's a little pin right on the edge here. It's been bent that way. And it's not actually touching the pad. Don't know if we're in focus enough. Switch back to autofocus. So there, right on the corner of this chip is a bent pin, which may be a challenge. To get back without destroying that. So I'm just examining it by eye here. The only way I'm going to get that back. Ah, there you go. I'm just pushing that back. I've got a few bits and pieces coming, which should help me get you a bit closer. If I have to, I'm going to buy one of those scopes that everybody else uses, but although they're a great tool for showing you guys what I'm doing, they're not a great tool for doing what I'm doing, because we were given two eyes for a reason, and two eyes give you depth perception. Which makes soldering much easier. What I'm going to do, let's just re-solder those, because I can see that wasn't soldered. Now I know you're going to have to trust me, but I see people struggling to solder these, and the main reason they're struggling to solder these is because they're using those particular microscopes. Now there are some stereoscopes that you can put cameras in. There's a guy called Louis from New York who repairs, well, he used to repair, I haven't watched him for a while, repairs MacBooks, and he's got some decent equipment and he's very good at soldering. But a stereoscope with a camera input is expensive and beyond my budget at the moment. So unfortunately you're having to look at the top of my head while I just fix these joints. I'm actually using a thin, I don't know if you can see, let's swap over. My soldering iron tip is what's called a knife tip. I tend to find that useful for almost all my soldering. It's pretty small, that's about 5 centimeters. It's hard to tell on the camera, isn't it? But that's what I use for a lot of the soldering. Just checking that looks good. Yeah, that one that was bent is now in place. So Monday on the stream I'm going to start doing the mods on these boards. I've got two, one for me and one for a friend, and I'll start modding them. Might have another option on some close-up lenses at that point, but I'm going to say that is back as it should be. Move the scope out of the way. see if I can show you guys a little bit of a close-up. Is that in focus? That's in focus. Just trying to steal a bit too much zoom. So we've down here where we have the pin shorted, I've removed the excess solder using a tiny little bit of a desoldering braid, and again the flux I use is decent flux. Again, be careful of cheap flux, it just won't work properly. This is not on the camera, Kingbo. Got quite a few of those. I bought quite a lot of this stuff in bulk. I actually bought 5 of these the other day because I thought I was running out. I've actually found some more in my box, but I don't know what I've done with them. It was 20 quid's worth of glue wick that I've put somewhere and I don't know where it is, so hopefully that turns up. Anyway, this is ready for me to start to mod on Monday. I do not have anything else to fix. Simon went really, really quick. This was really, really quick, but I will be back on Monday, and on Monday I'll talk a little bit more about the project, and it's going to be over a few sessions, the project. I shall probably start with modifying these because I know someone that wants one to finish his project or to move on with his project, but that's me done for today, I think. I don't have anything else to show you. What else have I got coming up? I'm trying to buy some Game Boys. Some broken Game Boys. All I'm going to say about that is that they sell for far too much money. Yeah, Nintendo Game Boys. There's quite a few broken ones. I have bought a Tetris cartridge that's supposed to work. It doesn't need fixing, but that was just over a £5, so I thought for testing that was worth buying. I am looking at getting a couple of Game Boys to fix. Again, from my perspective, it's I had a Game Boy. I can't remember when they came out, but I had one pretty soon to when they came out, and I used to play that. Just Tetris, just the game it came with, for hours and hours and hours. I don't think I've played any game console more than I played a Game Boy, bizarrely enough, and that includes all the latest and new ones. And probably, well, PC games. I've spent hours playing PC games, but that's another story. But yeah, that'll be coming along. I've also bought an old clock radio. Now, if anybody knows the film Groundhog Day, where he wakes up every morning to I've Got You, Babe, to that radio clock, it's similar to that with the flicky numbers. And when that gets here, I'll be repairing that. I think what I've learnt from these videos is that, yes, you can buy things broken from eBay, and there's not a lot wrong with them. That was a really, really easy fix. In fact, the fix was in the book, the instructions, so it's something they expect to break. I'll be doing the All-Star node, modifying these, and talking a little bit more about what an All-Star node is on Monday. And then the radio clock should be here, and I need to buy a few more bits and pieces to repair. I've got a broken doorbell downstairs that I might take a look at, but that's it. I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. That was a short one today, but hope you enjoyed it. I shall go a little bit more into detail on a few more videos coming up on the exact kit I've got here. I've got all sorts of bits and pieces. I've got an oscilloscope, I've got a function generator, I've got a hot air station, desktop power supply, all sorts of bits and pieces. In fact, I might look at getting some amplifiers so we can have a look at how you use an oscilloscope and signal generator to troubleshoot those. But for now, I'm going to wish everybody a goodbye, and thanks for watching if you're watching this video, and I'll catch up with you on Monday. Take care, everyone.